This is the post-nihilist, and this video is going to be about black female celebrities, and they're actually being slowly lynched. I had a dream last night, October the 27th, 2018, in which revealed to me were some very disturbing images and themes that I want to share with you concerning the position of particularly black female celebrities in American society, and them being slowly lynched. And the reason why I think this isn't apparent is because most people do not understand their enemy. And so they see their enemy putting them up on a pedestal, or people who look like them up on the pedestal, and to them that means that they've arrived or they're accepted, when that's not the case, and they don't actually know how their enemy thinks. In the dream that I had last night, I was outside. I went outside, and there were several, I'll say about 2 or 3 beige women that were being strung up, lynched. And when I say beige, I'm careful with how I describe, the images that I see in my dreams, because I want you to understand what I'm seeing. When I say beige, I mean the color of like a tan, like a light brown color, like the color of like a Beyonce or a Aaliyah or an M.I.A, like that color, that light brown color. So I see three beige women strung up, being lynched, and they seem to have black hair, and they could be light brown, they could be light-skinned black women, they could be mixed women, or they can be foreigner women like Indian or Middle Eastern women. I'm not sure. I don't get a good image of them. They're like vague to me, but I see them being strung up, and it's a lynching because I'm thinking, okay, I'm thinking in my mind, well, did they commit a crime in order to be lynched? And of course, lynchings are like pre-trial, kind of like mob justice, where there's not like a proper trial. Usually people are, judged by the crowd. So I'm thinking in my mind, like, what crime did they commit? They must have if they're being lynched, but I'm not sure what crime they committed. So that's why I term it a lynching. They're being lynched. And I noticed they seem to be, at least one seems to be completely nude. I only see her profile, her like right profile, so I don't see any of her like body parts or anything, but she's nude, and she has like a bob, a black straight bob. And like I said, I'm not sure whether maybe she's meant to mean all three, but I'm not sure whether she's, or four. A light-skinned black. I'm not sure whether she's mixed race. I'm not sure whether she's Middle Eastern. I'm not sure whether she's Indian. I'm not sure. And I guess I'm not supposed to be sure. But she's that beige color, and so are the other women who are being lynched. Now, they don't die right away because they're holding on to, they're suspended up in the air. I'm on the ground still. They're suspended in the air, but they're holding their noose as if it were like a necklace, and they don't seem like they're in any distress. It's almost like they don't know what's happening to them. And that's why, at the beginning of this video, I said that people don't realize, they don't know their enemy. So it's like your enemy could be at war. Okay, your enemy could be at war with you and you not know it. Okay, so if these women are being lynched and they're holding their nooses as if they're necklaces, almost like, they don't realize they're being lynched because they're not like flailing around or anything. It's just like they're just holding their noose as if it were a necklace. But even so, you would think that their hand would be like squeezed or crushed in the process, but it's not. It's almost like a delayed lynching, like they're up in the air, but something supernatural is preventing them from dying, like delaying their lynching or something. I don't know, but they're holding their noose as if it were like a necklace, and they're just dangling up there, but they're not dead yet. So, and I'm still on the ground, and me, like, I'm on the ground, and I also have a noose around my neck, like two nooses around, like two uh ropes around my neck, or two nooses. And I'm doing what they're doing, like I'm copying them. I'm thinking, is that the fan? Or who is that? Like I'm looking up at them, and they're move. Okay, and I forgot to explain this, but they're swinging back and forth, like they're noosed up. They're holding their noose like a necklace, but they're swinging back and forth like they're on a swing. So not only are they not in distress, as if they don't know they're being lynched, but they're swinging back and forth as if they're playing. You know, swinging is like a pastime. It's something you do in playtime. And I also, right before I did this, started this video, I realized that in the Django Unchained, when he's going after the Brittle brothers, when he's in his blue like outfit, and he's going to execute the Brittle brothers for what they did to him and his wife, and as he's walking angrily to these Brittle brothers who, you know, brutalize black women and, you know, slaves, and they're actually about to brutalize another black woman, you know, for breaking eggs or something. Yeah, for breaking eggs, and they're about to lash her. And there are black women off to the side as the Django is angrily walking towards these Brittle brothers, who is about to lash, you know, beat lash another black woman, and these black women off to the side, you know, in his peripheral view, and he's angrily walking to, you know, confront and kill the brother brothers. They're actually swinging. These are slave women, and they're swinging back and forth on a swing, content. That's what it's to show, that these are content slaves. They're swinging back and forth as if, you know, they're in slavery. They're complacent, and they're seemingly having fun and relaxed, you know. So it's to show like comfortable slaves, you know, like relaxing, but they're actually swinging on a swing that is suspended between trees when he's walking to confront the Brittle brothers in his blue outfit. So in this dream, you know, these beige women who, you know, if I could characterize them, and they're slim, you know, I would characterize them, and I didn't see their faces, but I would characterize them maybe as sirens, you know, like the typical female celebrity, like the, you know, the light skinned, slim female celebrities that the black community is given, you know, as like sirens, or as sex symbols, you know, like the Halle Berry types that are slim and mixed race or light skin, as being, you know, these are our celebrities. These are people that we put on pedestals. These are the people that we're looking to for standards of beauty, and as role models, and as beauty symbols, and stuff like that. So I would consider them to be like sirens. And like I said, at least one of them is completely nude, and has like a bob, uh, straight black haircut. But they're swinging back and forth, you know, with this noose around their neck, you know, as if they don't realize they're being noosed, and like it's like a, you know, a playtime, a halftime, or whatever. And so that's happening, and then I'm on the ground. I am mimicking them, like I'm walking back and forth in the direction of their swing. They're swinging back and forth, but I'm still on the ground, and I'm looking up at them, and I'm walking back and forth with my noose around my neck. But my rope is loose, and my noose is loose like a necklace, because I'm not suspended in the air. But they're suspended in the air. So I'm like walking back and forth, and just kind of like looking at them and mimicking what they're doing. And I'm thinking, this is the fans copying what their idols are doing. I don't know, or whatever. But I kind of look over to the vague people who have done the lynching, because I don't really, I can't make out any of the faces or whatever. But I'm looking over to the left hand side, and I'm hoping that no one sees that I'm, you know, just going through the motions. But so that happens for a while, and then the other either one or two like siren like beige women who are dangling in the air, they like go out of view. And then Nicki Minaj is like in the center, or on my left. Okay, and she's up there. She has her straight blonde wig, and she has a noose around her neck, and she's holding it like a necklace, and it's being delayed. Like she's for whatever reason, she hasn't expired, and she doesn't really look like she's in any pain or anything. And she then she moves over to like the far left. If she weren't already before, she moves over to the far left. And so it's really only two that I can be sure of that were there, which is Nicki Minaj and then the slender uh, beige woman who's either light skinned, mixed race, but she has hair like a foreigner, like it's straight and black. So I'm thinking mixed race. Um, well, even mixed race people have curly hair though. So I'm thinking either like Indian or Middle Eastern. Okay. So she's on my right. Nicki Minaj is on my left now. And she has blonde, straight bob. Nicki Minaj does. She's up there. And she sees that I'm just walking like back and forth or whatever. And she shows me, she's like, she sees that I'm not suspended like they are in the air, like in the hanging position. So she's like showing me how to do it correctly. She's like showing me how to tighten the noose around my neck so that I'm in the proper position of lynching. And I look up at her and I'm like, I'm just pretending, like I'm not going to I have no intention of being lynched. But she's like, Nicki Minaj is like showing me how to properly like, I guess, tighten the noose around my neck so that I will be lynched as well. And so I see that as like these celebrities are leading black females astray, in particular, in this dream in particular, and they're like showing them how to commit suicide or how to lynch themselves with these lyrics. I mean, Nicki Minaj, of course, she has filthy lyrics, and they're self-destructive to black women in particular. But also, you know, um, she's not the only one, and I'll get to that a little bit later. So now Nicki Minaj, she is getting closer to death, and so she's on the left side, and then I look down at her body, and she has the body of Janet Jackson, but she's nude. But she's like pretending to cover herself up. It's almost like she's pretending to cover herself up, but she's allowing her nipple to show every now and then. But she's nude and she's like covering herself up, but also like teasing, like allowing her nipple to show sometimes. And but it's like Janet Jackson's body. It's Janet Jackson's darker brown color, and her breasts seem to be augmented, like implants or whatever. But she's like sneaking and like sometimes like showing her nipple is like a tease or whatever. And I see that as the Janet Jackson 2004 Super Bowl thing where she in my view, and I mean she admitted that it was planned for that to happen, but I don't believe that it was a wardrobe malfunction. I believe that she wore, because I saw that live with everyone else who watched the Super Bowl in 2004, and for her to have like a nipple ring, a special nipple ring on, and just it in my view it was planned, and it was but it backfired. It was planned to be something racy and provocative or whatever, but it actually, and Janet had some songs out that were doing well. I mean, she didn't need to do that, and it seemed like her career plummeted after that. But she shamed herself on national television, and it backfired. She exposed herself, and in this dream, Nicki Minaj had her body, and of course, Nicki Minaj performed at the Super Bowl with Madonna in 2012, along with M.I.A, and she some would say that she also shamed herself because she came to the Grammy party, or whatever, after Whitney Houston um, had been killed, and she was dressed as like the Whore of Babylon or something. Like she showed up in red, scarlet and red, with a pope, and she like got an exorcism of Roman Zelensky or something like that. I mean, just embarrassing, shameful, demonic stuff. So one could say that she shamed herself. And that Super Bowl, and like in this dream, Madonna was not in this dream. So Madonna was not being lynched. Okay, it was a what looked like a Middle Eastern, Indian, or mixed race female, with straight black hair that was a bob shape. And then there's Nicki Minaj. Those are the two that are clear to me. Those are the only two being lynched. Madonna is nowhere to be found, because if you watch her Super Bowl performance and you look at the song that she did with M.I.A and Nicki Minaj, "Give Me All Your Lovin'," she's clearly she's the one being protected. Madonna is being protected. She's the star. Nicki Minaj and M.I.A are nothing but background characters, cheerleaders for Madonna. And if you think about it, that whole Super Bowl performance and then that music video, it is, and she was also in the music video, "Give Me All Your Love," and she was also on a pedestal, whereas the black woman and the Middle Eastern, or Indian woman, were below. So if you look at that whole ritual, it is the uplift. It's putting the white woman on a pedestal and protecting her, like in "Give Me All Your Love," and she's protected, whereas M.I.A and Nicki Minaj are not protected. And if you watch, or Malcolm X quote, he said that the black woman in America is the most disrespected and the most unprotected person in America. But nowadays, it's like people don't realize that. It's like that vigilance that Malcolm X has had has dissipated, and I guess it's dissipated with the civil rights movement, where we've been integrated. We're free now. Mentally, we're still very much enslaved. And I said in my Malcolm X Dream video that it's the Django Unchained movie is actually modern. It's not like in the past, it's in the present, where you have complacent slaves that, except nowadays we don't realize we're slaves, but we're complacent slaves. So that movie, The Django Unchained, is more modern than you might think, because it correctly displays the behavior, the general behavior of, in complacency, uh, the mental slavery. But so before, it's like she's about to, expire, because she's up there suspended, and the other female up there, the other beige, slender female up there, she's not moving, so I don't know whether she's expired or not. But she's not no longer in my view, and I don't see her moving. Like I said, she's the color of like an Aaliyah, uh, like Left Eye, or like a Halle Berry, or M.I.A color. That's her color. But anyway, Nicki Minaj has Janet Jackson's body. She's naked. She's like covering herself, but then she lets a nipple slip every now and then. And then at the same time, she's telling me about a sexual, a lesbian experience she had with a foreigner woman, like the night before, or uh, not too long ago. So she's naked, she's letting her nipples slip, and she's also talking about lesbian relationships with a foreign woman. So just nasty stuff, embarrassing. And if you know her name and also her behavior is to promote homosexuality. Her name itself, Minaj, is suggestive of homosexual perversion. And she promotes lesbianism. She's kissed Madonna on the mouth at least twice. Just recently, she wished Madonna a happy belated 60th birthday, and said that Madonna was the queen of all queens, called Madonna, Satanic Madonna, who dressed up for the 2018 VMAs as a witch. I mean, clearly. And here's Nicki Minaj there with her, calling her the queen of all queens and kissing her on the mouth. So just like disgusting. And then also Nicki Minaj, um, several years ago, if you remember, she used Malcolm X's picture of him holding the rifle, looking out the window, uh, because his life and the life of his family was being threatened in real life. She used that as like, a promotional picture for her song, Looking Ass Niggers. So, you know, this is someone who has no connection with history, someone who sold their body um, for money and fame, in terms of being a sex symbol and being, body part. I think I've also seen an image of her like with a banana in her mouth or something like that. But she's obviously being used to shame Black women and to set the standard for what Black women are, as prostitutes. Prostitutes who are uneducated, not connected to history, not really involved in any serious movement towards freedom. And I mean, if you're up there swinging with a noose around your neck, and you don't even seem in distress, then clearly not only are you comfortable with slavery, but you're comfortable with your own demise. And like I said, it's a war that we don't realize we're in. So it's almost like Black women don't understand you are the enemy of white supremacy, but not only that, but Zionist supremacy. And so, lynching was something that they used in order to maintain white supremacy, uh, and to put fear in the minds, hearts of Black people. And so, if you realize, in 2014, 2012, Whitney Houston died, and they had this performance beforehand of Madonna being lifted up, the white woman being protected, the Black woman and the Middle Eastern woman, the brown woman and the Black woman, the two brown women, being nothing but background characters, cheerleaders for the white woman. Nicki Minaj calling Madonna queen of all queens, and M.I.A coming out with a video around that time, same time, called Bad Girls, where she says, bad girls live fast, die young, we do it well, you know. And in the video, she's showing reckless behavior, people recklessly, driving cars, Saudi Arabian attire people acting like thugs. It's almost like a blending of the Black and the Middle Eastern Arab as the terrorist, the criminal, the thug, you know, almost justifying the terrorist, in her lyrics, the lyrics to that verse and give me all your love, and when she does the one she does at the Super Bowl, sticking up the middle finger and all that, that helps them enhance the idea of the Muslim, the Middle Easterner being the terrorist and being the thug. And she even stuck up her middle finger during her terrorist kind of like rap with Madonna. And what makes her so dangerous is that she fashions herself as a terrorist, but she's not. She married into, not married, but she had a baby with a billionaire heir. So she's not a half Jewish billionaire heir. So she's not as with the people as you might think. Um, I think that it's an act. And the fact that she would create a song called, Bad Girls Live Fast, Die Young, like what serious person, what serious freedom fighter would create and market a song like that encourages young women to engage in reckless behavior, unless you're part of the establishment. And I've also seen two pictures of her on Google Images of her putting a gun, like with her hands as a gun to her head. She's doing like some kind of like thug pose, kind of like the Lil Wayne pose where he puts a gun to his head. But that says it all. Like, who does that? What she's promoting is suicide, or she's promote not either she's promoting suicide or suicide bombings or some kind of self-destructive behavior. But all that does when Nicki Minaj shows the black woman as a whore, as an uneducated, loudmouth whore who, who wears white people hair and gets white people, alterations in order to look more white, and they see MIA as some ineffective terrorist because she's too busy, trying to be fashionable and marrying into or having, a child with some billionaire. Um, we're portrayed as being ineffective, but more importantly, they are justifying our lynching, because you have the whore on the one side, you know, and then on the other side you have the terrorists, the fake terrorists, but the terrorists. So it's almost like their image, their portrayal of black women and Middle Eastern women is to make it easier for the white supremacists um, to want to lynch us because of this negative, unintelligible. I mean, you can't. It's almost like, when you think about Beyonce's Super Bowl performance, where she performs with the Black Panther women, like, but they're dressed like prostitutes and they're supposed to be representing like Black Power or whatever. Um, that's a mockery. That's a mockery of any kind of political uprising for the women of the Black Panther Party, with Beyonce as their leader. Beyonce, who, of course, tries her best to look, she tries to look as white as possible. And she's the leader. And you have these black women who are supposed to represent the Black Panther Party, and they're just like prostitutes. It's a mockery. They're a mockery. Nicki Minaj, she's supposed to be this black rapper. She's hard, she's tough, but she's doing her best to look white, and she has plastic parts. So it's a mockery. It's to say that, you know, black women are whorish and they want to be white. And Middle Eastern women are fake terrorists or ineffective terrorists. So, and the white woman, of course, and Give Me All Your Lovin' is protected. So it's almost, like I said, an invitation to lynching, or an easing into the lynching of these women because, look at the images they portray. So anyway, as the Middle Eastern, or the other one, the slender beige woman, she's no longer in my view. I don't see her moving anymore. She's still up there, so I don't know. But and also MIA wore in her "Give Me All Your Lovin'" rap. She wore in the music video where they were dressed up as Marilyn Monroe, and they actually showed two Asian women, Asian masked, or cartoon Asian masked women in the background kissing in that "Give Me All Your Lovin'" video. MIA wore extremely short, like Marilyn Monroe uh, dress. I can't call it a dress. I mean, just like a mini skirt, and they were all sexualized, and she's licking her lips. So she even played like the terrorist whore. She's doing these lyrics that make her seem tough, but then she's dressed like a prostitute. She has on real short skirt. She has on a Marilyn Monroe wig. They have a Marilyn Monroe wig on a black girl and a Middle Eastern girl, so it looks ridiculous. And Madonna's the one protected. They are not. Madonna's the one up high on the pedestal. They are not. They're below in that music video. But anyway, after in the dream, back to the dream, Nicki Minaj has, Janet Jackson's body. She's nude. She's pretending to cover herself up. I see a nipple slip every now and then, like she's teasing, but doing it on purpose. Because, if you cover yourself up, you're covered up. You don't move your arms around unless you're trying to show, briefly show. She's briefly showing her nipple, just like Janet Jackson did. And we see what happened to Janet Jackson's career after she exposed herself. That ill-fated plan exposing of the nipple made her career take a serious nosedive. and it shamed her. It was shameful. So as Nicki Minaj is about to expire, she's doing this, and she's talking about her lesbian experience with a foreigner woman, and then Nicki Minaj is in the center again, and I wonder to myself, I'm like, why is it taking her so long to expire? Like, why hasn't she, because she's been hanging up there for a while, and she's holding her, noose is like a necklace or whatever. And I look over to the left, and I see her body, and she's laying like on the counter, and her eyes are open, and she has, like her straight, blonde bob, and she's just laying there with her eyes open, and I'm like, that's her body. She's already dead. So this person who's still hanging up there, that had been hanging up there for a while, holding on to the noose so that she doesn't die, she's already dead. That's why, she's been able to hold on for so long. I guess kind of like if you've seen the movie The Others, where Nicole Kidman has, she killed her kids, and she's a ghost. She's dead, but she doesn't realize she's dead. I guess it's something like that. The Others, the movie. I guess it's something like that. But I see her corpse. She's laying. Her corpse is laying on the counter there. She has her eyes open. So she's dead. And I say, I point her to her corpse so she can see that she's already dead. And when she looks over her corpse, she's like shocked because she didn't know she was dead. And when she sees that, she lets go of the noose. The noose tightens, and all I see, like, she opens her mouth like she's gonna scream, like she's screaming, but no sound comes out, and then like the dream is over with. But to me, that dream is significant in the fact that I feel like she was um, when Whitney Houston died mysteriously, um, and Clive Davis had a party, had a Grammy party, and ordered that her body be kept upstairs, deceased, while they partied downstairs, um, and how Nicki performed, and she's calling Madonna. This is several years later, you know, six years later, and she's calling Madonna the queen of all queens. I mean, she's just fallen right into that agenda. She's complicit at this point. You call Madonna the queen of all queens. What does that mean? Madonna's clearly in satanic attire at this VMAs 2018. With, I mean, just demonic attire. And I'm also reminded of a dream that I had, a Malcolm X dream, where he's standing in like this sea of black women, and they all are wearing, how the National Enquirer, that the CEO is a fake Jew, and they published an image of Whitney Houston in her casket, an open casket, and she was wearing a purple a purple suit. Now, in this dream a while back, this was several years ago, Malcolm X is standing in the sea of black women. I think they're all wearing purple, but at least I think they're all wearing like that purple suit that Whitney Houston wore. And he's standing in the middle of them, and he's like a ghost, because it's his image. It's almost like a 3D image of his television image, like you've taken his television image, but you've made it 3D. So his television image 3D is in the sea of these black women. We're in like a university conference room or something. They all have on these purple um, purple suits like Whitney Houston had on. At least the one I'm concentrating on, this one female. She's overweight. She has permed hair, and she just starts laughing like ha 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 ha, and she's just laughing. And I feel like that relates to this dream in the sense that Whitney Houston was shamed, like to put her open casket photo on the National Enquirer, and on top of that, to expose her alcohol and drug use, and just she was shamed in her death. Okay, and I don't think she saw it coming. I feel like it was planned and she didn't see it coming, but it became this grand event, and she was shamed. And I feel like that is there was a slow lynching of her as well, because for years prior to that, she was, you know, her drug and alcohol use was widely publicized. So her image, her celebrity, her career was being assassinated. Her image was being assassinated way before she died. In the National Enquirer and in the news or whatever, her character, but really her celebrity, her image was being assassinated in the press way before she died. And with Janet Jackson, right after she did the nipple gate thing, her career went downhill. But Whitney Houston wore that purple suit in the pinnacle of her shame, showing her deceased body in a casket on National Enquirer. And so in that dream where the woman is laughing, and she has on Whitney Houston's suit, it's almost like Malcolm X, he's saying the black woman is the most disrespected and unprotected woman. He's serious. He's not smiling when he says this in his speech. And in this dream, he's not smiling. He's straight faced and he's in the sea of these black women as if he's supposed to be their protector. And of course, he's much taller. I mean, in real life, he was like 6'4", but he's supposed to be their protector. He's standing in the center of them. They all have on these purple suits, and at least one starts laughing like it's funny. Like, this is like a game or a joke or playtime. And that goes back to the dream I had, last night, October the 27th, 2018. This is not a joke. These people do not know their enemy until it's too late, you know? And they're wearing Whitney Houston's outfit and they're being shamed and they're deceased. So this is serious. You have to know your enemy, or else you won't realize that you're being slow. Female celebrities, you're being slowly lynched. Like if they pull you up high, if they take you up high, it's to bring you down, because you are the enemy. Like you're not one of them. You're not a white female. You're not a fake Jewish female. So if they bring you up, it's for their agenda. It's not for you. And same goes for the brown races as they call them, or like the M.I.As, who wanted celebrity, and she was used as this radical chic terrorist, where she makes Middle Eastern women look easier to lynch. Saddam Hussein was hanged, and for a while he went with the agenda of the West until he was no longer needed, and they hanged him, Saddam Hussein. So it's important for black women and also non-white women, the Middle Eastern, Indian, darker skin, Mexican, mixed race, light skin. It's important for you to know that you are not a white woman, and therefore you are not the protected. The white woman is protected. And what was I going to say? Yeah, so the laughing, the joking around, is the same as the women swinging back and forth, with a noose around their neck, like they're playing. They don't understand their situation. They don't understand how much danger they're in. So this dream was to let you know, like, you're being slowly lynched. You are not Madonna. Madonna was nowhere to be found in this dream. Madonna was nowhere to be found. Nicki Minaj was there, and someone who presumably, was represented, the person who Nicki Minaj was performing with. But I don't know. I can't be sure. But Madonna was nowhere to be found, and quite frankly, when I took another look at her performance, her Super Bowl performance in 2012, and also her "Give Me All Your Lovin'" performance that same year, um, she she's almost like the girl in the Ninth Gate, and the girl represented the devil in the Ninth Gate, and she was helping Johnny Depp along his mission in order to summon him, but it was the devil disguised as a white female, blonde hair, whatever. But Madonna's saying, "Give me all your loving." She's saying like a prayer, and I'll take you there. And when she said that, she went down. I want to take you there, and she went down underground, not up, but down. And she said that it would be like her Super Bowl performance would be like a sermon. Her and CeeLo, when they were singing with the choir, they wore all black. This was a sermon. This was a worshiping of Satan. And when she's saying, "Give me all your loving," and she's dressed up like an Egyptian god or a pharaoh or whatever. This is like a representation of Satan saying, "Give me your love, give me your worship." So it's almost like she is that representation of Satan, because people come to the Super Bowl, they worship the game, they worship the celebrities, and in doing that, they're worshiping Satan. And Madonna put on a satanic ritual for that Super Bowl, and had the gospel choir, and did like the praise to what they call Lucifer. So it's important to realize that the celebrities that you worship, for the black and brown women in particular, they might be already deceased. If they've done some real dirt, if they've really sold their race out, they might already be deceased. They might already be, the spiritually dead, the living dead. And if you're worshiping them, you're not going to do well, because in this stream, Nicki Minaj was trying to get me to tighten the noose around my neck to do it right. And I didn't, of course. But, songs like Bad Girls, Live Fast, Die Young, Bad Girls Do It Best, like M.I.A. Like, you might be worshiping someone who has been either seduced or possessed, and they're actually working for the other team to help destroy people who look like them. Maybe they're making lynching look fun. They're up there swinging back and forth. Maybe they're making us comfortable with our fate. I know in the song "Feel Good Time" by Pink, she says, we go in the back, paint our money black, spend it on the enemy. And she says, put a banner over my grave, stuff like that. And it's like, in a sense, worshiping the bad, like, and we do spend our money on the enemy. But when she says, put a banner over my grave, I see it as kind of like the Bad Girls, Live Fast, Die Young, where it's like you're worshiping the early death, and you're supposed to be with a cause, a rebel with a cause. But when she says banner, she doesn't even say what banner. So that shows you that there is no particular banner to die for. Not a country, the soldiers, they put an American flag, drape that over their coffin. But if you're just saying put a banner over my grave, and it's like you don't know what banner that is, it's almost like die without a cause. It's almost like, the glamorizing of dying without a cause. Like, spend all your money on, nefarious, evil stuff that's not going to help you, and die without a good name. In that song, she says, we don't even have a good name. We don't have no more brains. Someone's being mocked in that dream. Sleeping in the church, riding in the dirt, put a banner over my grave. Someone is being mocked in that song. Someone is being mocked by these celebrities they put in front of us to seduce us to sleep. and to accept defeat. The women too, don't just think that white supremacists and Zionists only target black males or Muslim males. Females are a target as well, because we are the womb through which um, black males and non-white males come through. So we're an enemy as well. So like, you're at war even if you don't think you're at war, and you have an enemy, and that enemy is, Whitney Houston is no longer here. Um, and you have an enemy that will not only kill you, but will kill you slowly and mock you and shame you through your death. Um, as you slowly decline and after you decline, they'll still mock you and humiliate your memory. So just keep that in mind, when you consume media that is produced by your enemy. That even the people who look like you, who they string up, for you to look up to, might be used in order to bring about your demise. Um, so just keep that in mind.